Well, it shows you that we are very crisis resistant. I mean, the 70s was not the right moment to launch a watch, but it also shows you, which I think is quite a right thing. It's when there's crisis, there's always also opportunities. You know, with their private label background, how they build distribution. So they started, you know, first markets were in Europe, and it was also very much based on the kind of a private label retail, where their distributors were telling them, you know, what kind of products they wanted. There was a brand Moriss Lacroix. There were some models which were kind of known, kind of recognizable, but at the same time, they were giving all the distributors the chance to, you know, decide what they wanted to produce. And you would travel to the US, you would see watches you haven't seen in Spain, and that was completely different from Asia. So it was really kind of mass customizing, if you want, per market.
حلو فيهم انه يسمعون الكوميونتي. هذا الشيء ما يعني شفته بالشركات الثانية الا نادر. موريس لاكروا ميزتهم انه يسمعون ويشوفون ويطورون من ساعاتهم على حسب شنو العميل يبي ويطلب. والشيء شفناه. اتوقع حتى انت كنا مره قلت على السكلتن كنت اتمنى ان تكون حجم اصغر وسبحان الله سووها.
First of all, welcome again to Kuwait. This is our second time being together, but not your second time. Sorry, not your second time being in Kuwait, right?
No, not the second. I think I've been here 4 or 5 times already. Well, thank you, Ali, for the invitation. It's really a pleasure being back.
Always.
Really looking forward to our little chat today.
Oh, definitely. But every time you come to Kuwait, it's a very short time. Like maximum is 48 hours. Right?
Yes. You know, that's when you always leave, and you're leaving at the best moment.
So you don't feel no, but next time we'll have to make it extend it a bit, and we take you around in Kuwait. You've been to like the old souk and the malls
Yes.
and such, so you've seen it. So you flew in from Switzerland, going back to Switzerland the same day. Well, today we're very happy to have you because you guys are celebrating something big for the brand. So this year is the 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary. So.
And I want to start with you, if you don't mind, going briefly about the history of Moriss Lacroix. How did you start in 1975 then?
Exactly. So 1975, basically our parent company or the owner, they were active in silk trading and into brushes trading. And this activity came from basically mainly sourcing in Asia, bringing it to Europe. The founding company was called Desker von Schultes, and it was actually in the 40s and the 30s one of the biggest silk trader in the world, and they were based in Switzerland. And with this they started doing a lot of business with Far East. They started being Swiss, exporting watches because they had a lot of requests. So all the big traditional brands we know, they had the distribution ship for them in Asia, and they built a watch distribution network in most of the Southeast Asian, Hong Kong, Japan, and also China. And then comes so in 62, so that was also an evolution. In 62 they built private label workshops. So from distributing brands to I would like this watch, I would like that.
Okay. But they used to sell silk and stuff, and then they
brushes.
Okay, and then they just opened up.
Yeah, it was a side business.
Yeah, side business. Okay, it was a side business. Okay.
And from there on, they had this private label workshop in 62, and it worked very well. And that's when they said, okay, let's in 70s, it's working so well, let's do a brand. And that's when they decided to do Moriss Lacroix in 1975. So why Moriss Lacroix in 70s actually? The most popular country and kind of the country where all the, let's say, the evolution, all the innovations came from, where the business was, it was France.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So what they did is they said, okay, we need a French name for this brand.
Yeah.
Where we're going to do here in Seigneur-Léger. And they happened to be one of the person in one of the board members.
Mm.
His name was Moriss Lacroix. And they said, "Oh, that sounds French. That's nice. So we'll do Maurice Lacroix."
And the family name, what is the family name then? Like, it was a group, it was a company?
So the group company was called Desco von Schultes, and von Schultes was this trading company.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's not Maurice Lacroix von Schultes.
Yeah, that's because most of the brands that we know today, it's basically two families or a person that started the brand.
Yeah.
But like, if you go back to the 1975, we're talking about a very difficult time.
Exactly. That's interesting, right?
Yeah. So why you're because I don't know how many companies went bankrupt during the quartz crisis.
Well, it shows you that we are very crisis resistant.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting that you talk about that, because I mean the 70s was not the right moment to launch a watch, but it also shows you which I think is quite a right thing. It's in when there's crisis, there's always also opportunities, and that was really the thing. I mean, they had quite signs that what they were doing was right, and they also started with their private label background, how they build distribution. So they started, first markets were in Europe, and it was also very much based on kind of a private label retail, where their distributors were telling them, what kind of products they wanted. So it's not that they came with, we know it, every year you would come in Basel and have a collection, and, so this is these models for this year, and that's for next year, and that's for that month. No. They were like, there was a brand Maurice Lacroix. There were some models which were kind of known, kind of recognizable, but at the same time they were giving all the distributors the chance to decide what they wanted to produce. So they were kind of private labeling the brand at the start, and at one point of time, up to the end of the 90s, there were like 33 watch collections, and you would travel to the US, you would see watches you haven't seen in Spain, and that was completely different from Asia. So it was really kind of mass customizing, if you want, per market.
And that's the smart way of trying to create something Swiss and push it different places. Because definitely in that area, in that era, it's a very difficult time. And everything that we know today, the most iconic watches, brands that went dead and they came back, it was all during the quartz crisis. Yeah. And you guys established exactly, I think quartz crisis started like 69, first quartz movement. Yeah.
But I mean, up to the 2000s, if you look also at the watch industry, there were very few brands. It was a lot of products, right? I mean, you've got some brands in mind where there's some specific stories, but beginning of the 90s, I mean, if I look even at Maurice Lacroix, how we were doing the business was more through the product and communicating product ranges, but you were not thinking brand. There's very few brands in those days who were thinking brand.
But can you explain it more to me? So when I say Maurice Lacroix as a brand versus a product, so what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, when we really started to think brand marketing and not doing only a product, so that was kind of 2007, 2008. So we did this project about our own capabilities and doing manufacture, also own house movement. But at that time, it was also important that we communicate a brand, brand values, brand personality. Before that, our communication was very rational, very product based. We're known for the masterpieces. So if you look at the masterpieces campaign from the 90s and 2000, you would have a visual, and then you would have a product, and you would have a product detail, and it's a retrograde, and it tells you time, and it flies back. And it's not like other brands where they've started pumping up the brand with emotions. Think about the brands who were very active with Formula 1 celebrities, or brands where we're having a moon stories. That's when the shift is.
That's when You know, I used to like the very old vintage ads. I still like the 40s and 30s. It's basically what you said. You see a product and then you see exactly the description. This watch is sandproof, like dustproof, waterproof, up to this, the dimensions, this, and that's all. And then what you're saying is that you get into the emotional side of it. This watch is for the president. This watch actually went to the moon. This watch. Very interesting. But so during the 50 years of the brand, it's always been a family, or how does the brand? So if I understand the brand well, is it an independent brand? Is it owned by a full group, or how do you guys work?
So Maurice Lacroix created 1975 by this company Descoffin Schultes. You fast forward to 2009, 2010. Then one of the family members, who was the chairman, Dr. Brunner, he was getting in his 70s, and he had 4 children, but none of them really wanted to get into the watch business. So his thinking was, what do we do, right? And that's when they came into play DKSH, which is another, let's say, traditional Swiss trading house, but it's evolved. Today, DKSH is a global company, stock listed. They are very active in distribution services, not only in Asia but global. I'd say it's a 12 billion Swiss franc company. But still, they have DKSH is actually Diethelm, Keller, Signer, Hegner, which are just like Descoffin Schultes. They had the specificities also in those days, mostly Far East, in trading various goods. And this Dr. Brunner, he explained me, he was part of kind of association of the trading houses, of Swiss trading houses, and the years before he was getting 70s, they were always talking about, what are the succession plans, how to continue the business. And basically when he was feeling okay, now has come the time where I have to find a good solution for this brand, he basically gave a call to the family behind DKSH, and it was quite quickly agreed that they would take over. Of course, they took over the whole silk and brushes business, but also they were interested in taking over Maurice Lacroix.
Okay.
So
nice.
That was 2000. So officially was signed and it's official since 2011. But still today, it is a global company. Interesting, gives us the financial backing, but we are still behaving like an independent brand.
Exactly, and this is one of the things I noticed with your brand is honestly what you guys are doing in this region, in Kuwait specifically. First of all, starting with Trafalgar, and then you have Gagan and all the team. You feel there's a connection between you guys and the community, and that's another thing I will talk to محمد العليوة about, that the community you built in Kuwait. Before we get there, how is so what are you planning, or what did you do for the anniversary?
So typically Maurice Lacroix, it's we like to do things a bit different. And of course, you have a 50th anniversary. The obvious thing would be, okay, let's do a big event, a big party. But we've thought, okay, it's our 50th, so let's take a bit of time to reflect. Let's take a step back. So the first thing we did is, it's what I told you. Let's do a book for our 50th anniversary. Why? With what I've seen is in the company, we're reaching our 50th. A lot of the stories and the things, because I've been with the company now 17, 18 years. So I know a lot of things, but all the new joiners from the last years, they start from zero, and nobody's there except a few people in the company are there to tell them the stories. So our heritage or our legacy is going lost somewhere. So we thought, okay. And what was interesting is we had the discussion like 15, 20 years ago, should we do the book? And like 20 years ago, all the people who were there at the founding years, most of them were still around. But now these people, they are more in their 70s. They're not working anymore for the company. And so we thought, even looking at the archives, there was a lot of things getting lost. And there's a lot of interesting stories. And so we said, okay, let's do the book. And to do the book, we basically interviewed most of the people from the past. So we interviewed Dr. Brunner, who was the chairman 30 years of the company. We interviewed Mr. Joly, who was head of production and operations from 1985 to 2005, I think. We have the CEOs. So we have the CEOs from 2010 to 2014, so before my time. And we also have people who were part of the distribution network in Asia from the 90s until 2010. So basically we covered...
You tried to cover it. Yeah,
the last 10 years we can cover it.
Yeah.
But we covered basically everything from the origins until today. Yeah.
That's a big number, 50 years.
So that's one thing we did. So it was about, kind of celebrating and having the book of the 50th that tells the stories and that people understand where we come from, what we've done. And there's a lot of things would be, you'd be really surprised what we did, but nobody can tell the story today. So it's all in the book. And then the second thing we said, okay, we've got 50 years, we've got a nice legacy here. So with 50 years, what is good in the brand and what are the opportunities? So we saw that in the past, what we're known for is we have always had a mission, kind of what's really in the heart and the DNA of the brand is, we have always had this ambition to bring beautiful watchmaking, technical watchmaking, but accessible prices. And that's how we started. And that's why we had success in the 70s, besides the fact that we were doing anything on order that anybody wanted with our brand. But it was really about, we were bringing very simple complications, but at very, very accessible prices. So people could actually get into watchmaking, more than, okay, it's a 3 hands or it's a chronograph, but, retrogrades, day-night indications, GMTs, even flybacks. I mean, very nice things. And we saw that, the kind of the timeless qualitative side, we were missing something in the collection. We had it in the past, but we needed to, if you want really a quality watch, some first level complications, where do we have it? So that's where we said, okay, it's 50th anniversary. We have this design in our vaults. We bring it back, but we call the collection 1975.
Mm-hmm. And that's the watch I'm wearing.
That's the watch you're wearing.
Yeah. Can you break down the collection, because the one I have is the blue dial with the quartz movement.
Yes.
Right. And then you start with the entry level of the quartz, and then you have automatic.
Yeah.
And this is actually, I think, priced 280 KD, which is a perfect price to get into a Swiss-made watch. Very good quality. It's 1,000 Swiss franc almost, right?
So I mean, on the mechanical side, you have mechanical leather strap. It costs 1,200 Swiss francs. Yeah. So it's very, I mean, it's part of the ambition of the brand. I'm talking to bringing beautiful watchmaking, but it has to be accessible. But you also have to have the craftsmanship, and you have to have the iconic design. So on this collection, you have it, because this design, we had it since the start. And then the collection was called Les Classiques over the years. Of course, it's a revamped version. And you see also the quality, because you've got some very nice polished edges on the side. It's also, you can strap exchange system. So what we did is we also milled the inside of the case of the lugs, so that you can really snap in the bracelet very easily. You will see there's a very beautiful polishing on the inside of the case back when you look at the movement. So it's all these fine details that at the end it's very qualitative. And then you also have, of course, the qualitative metal strap.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that just because we're sitting and talking about Mórès لاكروا, but definitely when I had this on my hand, you can see there's the details and the quality of the strap really pays, like you can easily see it.
Yeah.
And how many colors did you do it in?
So it's supposed to be very limited. So we do black, blue, silver.
Okay.
That's it. And
the classics.
Yeah.
Classical colors.
Classics. I mean, it has to be focused. It has to be, the less you do, the more you can, you share more of the same, right? And then it has also the idea that here it's really your diffusion line. And then what's interesting is 1975. So you have quartz, you have mechanical, and then you have a collection which we call Legacy. So it's 1975 Legacy. There you will recognize that there's a very special dial pattern, and then we only do limited edition with GMTs or day dates, and then it's one color or two colors. So we have there's the Legacy in blue. It's also a thinner movement. It's SW 300. You have a Legacy GMT. It's a 200 pieces limited edition. It's a silver and gold dial. And then even on those watches, some of them we have the case back, which is a very dedicated case back. So it's an engraved. You have the Franche-Montagne, which is the region we come from, and you have a horse breed, because the only Swiss native horse breed comes from our town, from Seigneur-Léger, from the Franche-Montagne.
Interesting.
So it's little details, but these are kind of the stories few people know, and this is what we want to share.
That's our job, to try to educate.
Yeah.
Beautiful. This is the 1975 collection.
And then it's not finished, because so you have quartz, you have mechanical, and then of course we also want to put the manufacturer side in it. So that was, in the past, when we looked at the collections, we were like, oh, that's a quartz collection, that's a mechanical, that's over. It's one environment. So this is more kind of our timeless, qualitative environment. And there, what we do is we're also bringing some very beautiful manufacturer executions. So, manufacture is not only masterpiece, it can also be now in the 1975.
Okay. Did you announce them, or you're about?
Yes, it's going to come this month.
Okay. So I'm trying to think if I've seen them or not. Because the next thing I want to talk about is the beautiful watch you have in your hand.
Yes.
Which you announced 2 days ago, maybe?
Yeah.
2 days ago. And I know, look, honestly, if I go back to my relationship with Trafalgar and with Gagan and everyone there, because they've been active with us for a long time, to be honest. And I remember maybe in 2019, 2020, I used to enjoy going to Trafalgar and seeing your retrograde. You did the big escapement, I remember. You used to do fun things that are, you either see them in a 50,000 franc, and you used to do them like in 10, 8 or something like that. And what you have in your hand it's a perfect, to me was the perfect edition, because the first thing I did was I went down to see the size, which I think you reduced, right? Compared to what you usually do. So let's talk about it. It's very interesting. It's a very fun watch.
Yeah, so there's two things here. It's the collection Iconic. So Iconic is so for the 50th anniversary. So what we've been doing the last years is we have been, as you've seen, we've worked a lot on materials.
Yeah.
We have also thought a lot about what do we do on the movement side, performance of the watch. And what we're also known for the icon is user experience in terms of user friendliness, strap exchange, these kind of things. And with the Iconic, what we've done is there's a 3-hand version, but you have so it's a ceramic dial. It's a ceramic bezel. It's a carbon dial, and then the movement is a new movement we've developed together with Sopod. It's a 60-hour top regulation, so it's got 0 plus 4 seconds variance, which is very, very competitive. And also in terms of the strap exchange system, it's a new system, completely integrated, very user-friendly. You don't need to use your nails to open anything, so it's just you press on it, it comes out, you click it back in, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very,
that,
I mean, we even have a patent on that. So that's really kind of. But the question was like, do we want to put all this innovation and all what we've learned, our whole legacy, on Icon, or something else? And Icon is our bestseller today. And when, as you say, if you got a winning horse, don't change anything about your best horse in the stable. So we thought, okay, but we can do something with this design base we have with Icon, which is very popular. But then we the playing field is actually Iconic, and it's Icon with an I and a C, Iconic, and the I and the C stand for innovative craftsmanship.
Okay, that's a very nice point.
So when you call it Iconic and you call it, you have to deliver.
Yeah, and it's the fun thing that you didn't talk about is the retrograde.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, so Iconic is our playing field. So here, and I'm very happy about this watch because basically I've been asking since 4 or 5 years to the product teams, hey, can we bring back the retrogrades? Can we do it something a bit more, more fresh, more modern, revamp it? And we've tried, we've done a lot of things with the retrogrades. We've put them on the masterpieces, but the masterpieces is more timeless design. It's more classical design, right? And I always told them, yeah, but let's put it in the Icon. So we've tried a lot of things in the Icon, as it was on the Icon, as you know today, which is more kind of a, let's say, sport chic. But from a base, let's say it's more the classic side of Icon. It didn't work aesthetically. It didn't work. It was like weird, you put two things together that are great, but then it doesn't look good. Yeah. And working now on the Iconic with, you see how it is. Also, these counter are skeletonized, which is also something typical Maurice لاكروا, skeletons, retrogrades.
Yeah.
Putting all the innovation and the technology we have in here. I mean, for me, this watch kind of summarizes everything within the last 50 years. For me, this is the new image of the brand in terms of, this model is about, it has a craftsmanship story, it's got the Icon story, it's got the innovative story of what we're capable of doing, and also in terms of design language. So it's, this is like, boom. That's a big summary.
So this is the special piece for the 50th anniversary. Or you have something?
No, this is meant to stay.
Oh, but you introduced it in a very important period of the company, with the celebration of the 50th.
Yeah, Iconic. I mean, for the 50th anniversary, on one side, bringing back the 1975 collection was to continue our legacy, continuing having kind of a timeless, elegant piece in the collection. And the Iconic was about what's the briefing for the next 50 years, what do we need? So we have the Icon, which is kind of the classic sport chic, but going forward, where do we go? And this is this shows you the briefing. That's the way.
Very nice. Actually, it takes me to my next question is that, first of all, is there any other collection that I missed that you introduced lately?
So also for the 50th anniversary, we also did the women's watch, the Fiaba, which we brought into square.
Yeah.
We had it square. I mean, we did launch that watch in the 90s. also part of this kind of reflection we had of the 50th anniversary. So because as you understand it, you didn't want to do one event, we wanted to do a year of celebration.
Yeah.
So you have 1975 Fiaba Iconic plus also the book to
Perfect. And this will you said something very big just now. So this is shaping your 50 years ahead.
Yeah.
So this is how you're thinking about these collections.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Right. Because my question was very small. It was like, what is the plan for the next 5 years? So you pushed it to 50. But very interesting. So we have these 3 collections and what you did with the icon, for example, and I still remember when you introduced it. I liked the fun, the one, the recycled one, and then I think you talked to a very different. It got away from a very traditional to a watch collector who wanted something fun to wear on the weekend, to a guy who's just going into different multi. Very fun. So what is your favorite out of this 3 collection?
Yeah, it's
definitely
this model. Yeah.
And we'll see. So this is the base, and future wise, we'll see new complications on these or something. I mean, like that.
So this is the, innovative preference. So this is the playing field, and you will continue seeing Icon because Icon is kind of the classic base, and Icon is today it's more than 70% of our business. So it's really the face of the brand, and as we learned, people in our price category, they like to have a qualitative, good-looking watch, but something that is not too wild, kind of a safe choice. Yeah. And often people, I don't know how it is here in Kuwait, but buying a 1,000, 2,000 Swiss franc watch, you're going to keep it for a long time. You're not going to buy your next watch in 2-3 months. So you're putting a lot of money in your watch. You want to be sure it lasts, and you want to make sure you make the right choice. So and that's our job, that we try to deliver and offer watches which can last a very long time, that you can service if there's any issues, and that in 10 years you still have that design, that face, that identity in the portfolio.
That's a very important point, to be honest. When you talk about something that stands and be in the collection for a long time, it has to stand the test of design, I think.
Yeah.
And this is what I noticed with you guys. It's like you didn't just go crazy with colors and then you changed it, and you did it slowly, and you introduced ceramics, which was very fun and very successful. And then you perfect. Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
And as always, welcome to Kuwait. I really, really appreciate what Gagan is doing, Trafalgar, and you being here in Kuwait, because big part of the watch community is the brands being active.
Yep.
Where we can give and take and such. Thank you very much for your time. We'll have a small talk with our friend محمد, which goes back to the point of the community. But thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks a lot. ايه فطلع انحشت شوي من ساعات.
ايه بعدنا شويه بس يعني للحين.
بس بعدت لنا السوق زعلك شويه يعني، ولا تحس مليت، ولا انشغلت بشغله ثانيه؟
انشغلت بشغلات ثانيه، المصاريف تحولت على اشياء ثانيه. المصاريف تلعب دور مهم وايد. الساعات بروحها مصرف.
بالضبط 100%. اقول لك شو مرات هواياتك يعني تهب بشيء ثاني، كل شيء نهب فيه يصرف يحرق فلوسك يعني، تاخذ شويه من الساعات.
بس للحين يعني حبنا للساعات للحين موجود، للحين لما تشوف ساعه ودك تقتنيها تتعب لها اكثر.
اكيد. شلونك بعد؟ عساك بخير؟
الحمد لله، يسلمك ان شاء الله
حبيبي. اول شيء مشكور على تلبيه الدعوه. احنا الامانه زمان كان ودي قاعد وياك برا موريس لاكروا، لكن اليوم صار عندنا فرصه ان نقعد مع السي او مالهم. والامانه لما سولفت مع قاقان وقاعد ننسق حق موضوع الحلقه والبودكاست، ان قلت لهم جزء كبير صار من هويه موريس لاكروا بالكويت انت صراحه، انت والكلاب اللي سويته سواء من الاديشن وهذا. فوش ودي ابلش، متى بلشت علاقتك وياهم سواء طرف الاغر او موريس لاكروا نفسهم؟
والله شوف تبي الصراحه كل شيء صار الامانه بصدفه. يعني كان وضعي انا بالدوام قاعد، يالي جزاه الله خير زميلي حمد الصانع، فقال لي الطرف الأغر قاعد يدورون على هاوي ساعات بنفس الوقت له شوية بالتصميم، يعني ما نقول ساعات، تصميم مثلا لوجوات وغيره. فقال لي أشوفك أنت the best candidate لك بساعات، قاعد تصمم حق البنك وقاعد تصمم حق شغلك الخاص، فليش ما تجرب؟ شوف نعطيك احنا الموك اب، نجرب حط عليه الديزاين. مشى ما مشى كان بها. بصراحة يعني تحمست أنا حق الفكرة، وأكثر شيء تحمست لما قال لي إن ترى شركة سويسرية معروفة، بس ما قال لي شنو.
اوكي.
اي كان خاش الموضوع ظاهر. فيوم وصلني الموك اب اكتشفت إنه موريس لاكروا، استانست. جربت كذا تصميم، لما شفت إنه في تصميم أقدر أشبك فيه علم الكويت مع اللوجو بطريقة إنه لا أقلل من قيمة العلم ولا أقلل من قيمة اللوجو، فشبكتهم بطريقة معينة صارت إنه بنص حرف الأم صارت البصمة اللون الأبيض مال العلم، واللوجو موريس لاكروا واضح، العلم واضح واللوجو واضح. هني دزت لهم التصميم وكروسنج فينجر على قولتهم، انطر شنو بيصير. كان الموضوع شهر 7 يمكن طولوا ليه شهر 9 تقريبا، شي شهرين. بعدين كان يقول لي ترى يبون منك الاوبن سورس حق اللوجو. فقلت له يعني ما وافقوا. شو اقول، شوف مبدئيا حبوا التصميم which is good. عطنا الاوبن سورس فايل ان شاء الله ونشوف شنو يصير. عطيتهم التصميم من شهر 9 ليه شهر 1 اليوم اللي شفتك مصور فيه الساعة. أنا ما أدري هل هم أخذوا التصميم. ما أدري بس كانت ساعة جاهزة. بالضبط. فأنا هني استغربت، يعني لو ترجع حق الدي ام راح تشوف إن سألتك، أول ما سألتك شفت الساعة أرقام عربية، شكيت قلت أرقام عربية مستحيل مو الإصدار. إنزين ما كلموني، ما قالوا لي ترى تصميم انقبل وسووه وترى this is the watch، ما عزموني. فهني كان أسألك قلت لك علي شنو ديزاين من ورا؟
يقلب لي الساعة خلينا نشوفها.
فهني انت قلت لي اذكر كنا علم الكويت وفي لوجو موريس، بس هذه هي. زين نادوني يقولوا لي هني جزاه الله خير قاقان وقته تواصل معي قال احنا خاشينك يعني على اساس انه مفاجأة، بنفاجئك بالايفنت تي وتشوف ان الساعة موجودة على ارض الواقع، ونبي نشوف الشوك انه شلون انت لما صممت الساعة او صممت اللوجو وشفته على الساعة
لايف.
بالضبط، بدال يدزون الموقع وترى موافقة وترى ما ادري شنو، خلاص من داخل خلاص خلينا نقول الاكسايتمنت كله راح. بس لما تشوفه قدامك اول مرة يعني صراحة كان يعني انجاز افتخر فيه. اول شيء لانه رفع اسم الديرة في شيء علم الكويت، بعدين مع شركة مثل موريس لاكروا يعني شركة سويسرية معروفة، وما قصروا معانا طبعا. يعني هم كشركة الحلو فيهم انه يسمعون الكوميونتي، هذا الشيء ما يعني شفته بالشركات الثانية الا نادر. موريس لاكروا ميزتهم انه يسمعون ويشوفون ويطورون من ساعاتهم على حسب شنو العميل يبي ويطلب، والشيء شفناه. اتوقع حتى انت كنا مرة قلت على السكلتن كنت اتمنى ان تكون حجم اصغر، وسبحان الله سووها.
انا كنت اقول لهم يعني كنت توني اقول انه صراحه هم وايد اكتف ويسال ويحوس يعني هو يعني الحين صار ما ادري كم سنه عندنا، كل سنه لازم يكون موجود، لازم يكون في ايفنت. طبعا الفضل هم ما شاء الله على طرف لاغر وقاقان صراحه مبدع باللي قاعد يسوي، وايد مهتم بالبراند. بس صح السكالتين كانت كلها كبيره، حتى الساعه لابسها كان كلها يسوون الكبار. كنت اقول لهم زين هذه كلاسيك الحلوه الريتروجريد بس ما يصير هالحجم 44 وسووها 39 او 39 اذا ماني غلطان.
39 كانت
39.
والحلو حتى الاصدارات اللي قاعد ينزلونها الجديده قاعد ينزلونها بكذا حجم،
صح.
يعني مو حجم ثابت، لا انت ما تبي الحجم العود تبي الحجم الاصغر موجود. حتى 1975 تو الحين الاحتفاليه مرور 50 سنه يعني صراحه ابدعوا فيها. ساعه كلاسيك من داي 1
حلوه وبسيطه ومريحه صراحه، استانست عليها اول يوم البسها طبعا.
اي لا وايد حلوه يعني تعطيك يعني فايب الفينتج على شويه مودرن.
بالضبط بالضبط الاندسيز وكل شيء والهذا ممتاز. فسويت الشعار رحت الايفنت بعدين سويت شيء اسمه كوميونيتي، سويت مجتمع حق موريس لاكروا اللي اعتقد او نادي كان الاول بالعالم ولا كان شيء
لا مو بالعالم. في نوادي موجوده، اتوقع اشهرهم نادي موريس لاكروا اللي باليابان. طبعا هو صوب اسيا وايد حابين براند وفي عندهم كذا كلب. بس كميدل ايست احنا نعتبر اول اوثرايزد كلب حق موريس لاكروا بالميدل ايست.
اوكي
وبلشنا شهر 1 2024 يعني تقريبا لا سوري 2025 صار لنا تقريبا سنه الا يعني يقول
سنه
خذينا البلسنج من مستر ستيفن شهر 11 2024 وبلشنا بعدها بشهرين عقب ما توبكنا انا ويا جاجان جزاه الله خير على طول سبورتنج جاجان ما قصر معانا. وهو كان صاحب الفكره للامانه انه ليش ما ناسس كلب كوميونتي حق خلينا نقول ميدل ايست بشكل عام، ونبلشه من الكويت والحمد لله بلشنا اول سنه لنا تقريبا سنه لنا.
فانت شلون يعني الاعضاء يشاركون يدشون لازم اشترك وياكم ولا شنو كانت فكره؟
دش حياك الله عندك موريس لاكروا دش معنا.
ايه فاهم
انت الحين خلاص صرت من ربعنا.
من زمان انا عندي الصفرة من زمان عندي هذا.
لا
صراحه البراند حق اللي وده يدش ويشتري شيء كواليتي وايد حلو، اسعارهم وايد معقوله مثل ما تفضلت. في وايد في اختلاف يعني تقدر تقول اوكي انا اللون ما عاجبني بلون ثاني، الحجم ما عاجبني الوان ثانيه، حتى بالايكون لما نزلوا الالوان نزلوها بنفسجي يعني شغلات حلوه صراحه.
وزاراتهم جدا مميزه حتى كالوان يعني اتوقع التيتانيوم كان يعني مفاجاه بالنسبه لنا الالوان البنفسجي.
ايه كانت وايد حلوه. حتى كنا في ايفنت تذكر يورونا السيراميك وايد حلوين.
حتى السيراميك
بيضاء وسوداء
وإن شلون يعني يشرحوا لنا ان اللون الابيض شلون كان صعب انه يسوونه بس ضبطوه بطريقه انه يعطيك اللون البياض ما يميل للصفار.
ايه
فكان يعني بيرفكت. والسوداء طبعا جدا جميله.
ايه السوداء وايد حلوه. زين اذا انا اجي لك واقول لك ابي منك بيس يونيك حق موريس لاكروا شنو تسوي؟
بيس يونيك لا وايد صعب.
ممثل براند اكثر واحد مشهور فقلت بختم هالسؤال انا ابي بيس يونيك منك.
بيس يونيك طبعا لازم يكون فيها يعني منت ريبيتر انت اعطيها كومبليكيشنز
شيء ما سووه من قبل.
يعني تجيب شيء ما سووه ككومبليكيشن من قبل او تدمج مثلا كذا شغله ما ادري سؤالك وايد صعب.
يعني اخذ واحده من الكولكشن الموجود عندهم او لا؟
والله الجديدة
صراحه انا وايد عجبتني يعني لابسها
ترى اول مره اشوفها انا على ستيفن يعني انا اشوفها بالصور عجبتني الحين لما شفتها على ايده شيء خطير.
وايد حلوه على السعر وايد حلوه حتى انتزوها بجروب تايم كيبر امس او امس اعتقد يعني وقفت شفتها اوكي لا هذا شيء حلو سووه وشيء غير. وهم على طول رحت شفت سلايته يعني اقول له رحت على طول شفت الحجم 42 اوكي معقول افهم صعب وايد يسوون 39 عاده خاصة موفمنت جديد وشي صعب يسوونه صغير. والسعر ما أقول لك رخيص ولا وايد غالي بالألفينات
على كومبليكيشن
جدا ممتاز
بيرفكت
وايد ممتاز. حبيبي مشكور وايد على وقتك. احنا أدري يبناك بسرعة
سامحنا بعد التأخير.
لا أبد بالعكس إن شاء الله اليوم عندنا إيفنت إن شاء الله يكون إيفنت حلو وياهم
نشرفنا إن شاء الله.
أبد شرف لي والله. وإن شاء الله على وعدنا لنا قاعدة إن شاء الله على الراحة 2-3 ساعات ندردش على الساعات الراحة نسولف عن سيايير نسولف عن سيايير
بالويكند مو أوقات دوام.
لا إن شاء الله سبت على الراحة كذا.
استمتم
حبيبي
مشكور ما قصرت قواكم الله
يسلمك.